This nun entered a male student's room, gently took his shirt, and brought it up to her nose. When they were together, she didn't show any embarrassment and even unbuttoned her own shirt. Could the young man be easily tempted? Dewey's son is a high school student who, besides having a handsome, scholarly appearance, also has a large social media following thanks to his singing talent. While recording a video, Jason told his fans that he would soon transfer to a new school, a Catholic academy in Southern California. Afterward, Jason ended the video by singing a song he composed himself. Elsewhere, a mysterious woman killed someone, hid the body in a car trunk, and dressed as a nun. Not long after, Jason and his sister Doe arrived at the new school with their parents. They were welcomed by the principal, Sarower, who briefly introduced them to the school rules. Sarower also introduced them to Sarah, Doe's roommate. It seems Sarah had a crush on Dewey's son from the first sight because of his charm and fame. The principal then continued to welcome a new teacher, a newly arrived nun named Sophia. While showing Sophia around, the two nuns happened to encounter Jason on the school playground. The moment Sophia saw Dewey's son, she froze for a few seconds. Could there really be such a handsome man in the world? It was soon revealed that Sophia was not a real nun. She was the same woman who had committed murder earlier. That night, the beautiful nun relaxed on her bed, watching Jason's music videos. But she didn't stop there, she even became more obsessed with Dewey's son on screen. The next morning, Sophia started her first day at school. Upon entering the classroom, she immediately noticed Dewey's son and was extremely irritated seeing him flirting with Sarah. Therefore, Sophia decided to move Sarah to the front desk, which made Sarah very uncomfortable. Sophia was about to start her lesson when Dewey's son reminded her about the morning prayer session they always had before class. Hearing this, Sophia anxiously guided the class to pray, but she couldn't recite any of the prayers by heart. After class, Doe shared her doubts about the new teacher with Jason. However, he thought his sister was overthinking and left. Later, he met Sophia and apologized for his inappropriate behavior in class. Unexpectedly, Sophia asked if he and Sarah were in a romantic relationship, but Jason denied it. The next day, Sophia caught the two of them being intimate. Furious, Sophia expelled Dewey's son and began threatening that Sarah would be suspended. However, Sarah reminded the nun that she didn't have the authority to do so, since Sarah's father was the main sponsor of the school. After saying this, Sarah confidently walked away, leaving Sophia behind, fuming. After class, Sophia requested Jason to stay behind. Once again, he found this strange. From the very first lesson, Doe noticed that the new teacher seemed unusually interested in her brother. When they were alone, Sophia began questioning Dewey's son about why he lied regarding his relationship with Sarah. Jason didn't know how to answer. Therefore, Sophia requested that he meet her in her private office to discuss the matter further. Since students were not allowed to wander in the faculty area, Jason hesitated for a while, but Sophia threatened to report him to the school board if he refused. The young, naive boy had no choice but to comply. That afternoon, when Dewey's son went to Sophia's room and was about to knock on the door, he peered through a crack and saw her wearing only lingerie. Sophia thought this would seduce him, but it actually terrified him. After a moment of thought, Dewey's son decided to leave. One weekend, as students were preparing to return home, Sophia became extremely angry upon seeing Sarah and Jason hugging in the parking lot. At that moment, the principal appeared and talked to her about some school assignments. However, Sophia informed him that she would also be away that weekend to visit her sick aunt. When Jason returned home, he had a tense conversation with his father because his father did not support his decision to pursue music. He wanted his son to follow Doe's example and focus entirely on studying. After a heated argument, Dewey's son skipped dinner and went alone to the swimming pool, unaware that Sophia had secretly followed him home and was watching him play by the pool in a strange way. On Monday evening, as all students returned to school, Sophia sneaked into the dormitory room of Ray and Sarah. At that moment, Principal Rober happened to pass by and noticed her, so he began to follow her into the room. Sophia placed flour into Sarah's textbook to create a reason to expel her. After completing her plan, on her way back to her room, Sophia was suddenly stopped by the principal. When asked why she was wandering in the girls' dormitory at this hour, Sophia lied that she was checking security. Hearing this, the principal left, but remained suspicious. The next day in class, Sophia's evil plan succeeded when she instructed students to open their textbooks to a specific page. Sarah was shocked to see flour in her book. Without hesitation, Sophia quickly gathered the evidence and reported it to the principal. As a result, Sarah was expelled for something she hadn't done. But that still wasn't enough for Sophia. She continued to ask the school security to inspect everyone's dormitory, and they unexpectedly found a bottle of alcohol in Jason's room. This was the same bottle that Sophia had drunk from in her car the night before. It turned out that she herself had planted it in Jason's room to force him to participate in community service activities as a form of punishment. This would give her more opportunities to seduce him. When the alcohol was discovered, Sophia pretended to sympathize with Dewey's son and even begged in front of the principal and the school board not to expel him. Instead, she wanted him to stay over the weekend to participate in the school's community service activities. The principal was somewhat skeptical about the idea, but after some consideration, she finally agreed. Everything went smoothly as Sophia had hoped. She began looking for ways to seduce Dewey's son while he was working in the school garden. Sophia unbuttoned her shirt. Although the teenager initially felt uncomfortable, he truly could not take his eyes off her. That night, Sophia finally got what she wanted in her private room. Moreover, she even recorded all her actions on her mobile phone. The next morning, Jason looked worried and guilty about what he had done, so he left the dormitory to get some fresh air. Meanwhile, Doe went to Jason's room to find her brother but was surprised to catch Sophia smelling Dewey's son's clothes. When confronted, Sophia even threatened to report Doe to the administration for being in the boys' dormitory. Reluctantly, Dewey's son was forced outside and asked Jason what was happening. However, Jason did not reveal anything and pretended that everything was fine. Meanwhile, Sophia began to see Doe as a threat and devised a strategy to deal with her. Sophia asked Dewey's son to stay and show her the test that he had failed. She pretended to care about Doe and gave her a second chance. She asked Doe to stay after class to retake the test. Sophia deliberately left the answers on the desk. True to her plan, when Doe came to class to retake the test, she saw the answers on the desk. While Doe was reviewing them, the principal unexpectedly entered the classroom and accused her of cheating. However, the principal found it hard to believe since Doe was always a top student. Later, a bishop visited the school and was welcomed by Principal Robert. During their conversation, the bishop asked whether Sophia was suitable for the new school, describing her as a ray of sunshine. This surprised the principal because the Sophia she knew was completely different from the bishop's description. The following weekend, Sarah invited Jason to a party at her house and told him to bring his guitar. During dinner, Jason asked his parents if he could attend, but the conversation turned into an argument about his future. Despite this, Jason went to Sarah's party, unaware that Sophia was secretly following him. When Jason arrived, Sarah approached him and led him into her room. She tried to kiss him, but Jason, exhausted by his thoughts, abruptly left without any explanation. Jason then grabbed a bottle of beer and left the party, with Sarah following him. However, Sarah suddenly realized that her car had been sabotaged, likely one of Sophia's actions to intimidate her. After a short distance, Dewey's son almost ran into trouble with the police. But fortunately, Sophia arrived in time to resolve the issue. Jason told her that he was too drunk to go home in that state, truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sophia quickly took him to her apartment. At this point, Sophia began displaying her delusional behavior, irrationally wanting them to run away together to a new land and enjoy a dream life. Hearing this, Dewey's son suddenly sobered up and ran away as fast as he could. The next morning, when Doe and Jason were preparing to go to school, they saw a suspicious car passing by their house. Coincidentally, the same car appeared again at school. After investigation, Doe discovered that the car belonged to Sophia. When Dewey's son returned to his dormitory, he was shocked to see Sophia lying unconscious on the bed. He also noticed a bottle of medicine on the table and assumed she had done something unimaginable. Terrified, Jason quickly performed CPR on her, hoping to revive her, but Sophia unexpectedly woke up and kissed him. It turned out she had only been pretending to be dead to see if Jason cared about her. Angry, Jason threatened to report her to the school board, but instead, Sophia retaliated by revealing that she had a video recording of them being intimate. This left Dewey's son shocked and terrified. The next day, Sarah returned to school, much to Sophia's anger. Feeling threatened, Sophia snuck into Sarah's room while she was taking a shower, then violently slammed Sarah's head into the wall, killing her instantly. She then staged the scene to make it look like an accident.